Alright, so in today's video we're going to talk about EDC, my everyday carry. I've had a couple people ask me about it. Now my EDC doesn't change. I did recently get a new wallet, which I'm pretty excited about. But other than that, I carry the same thing all of the time. For years and years and years I've been carrying the same stuff. And so instead of focusing on the specific items themselves, which I will link in the description box down below, I'm going to focus on the how and why I EDC what I EDC. Okay, so let's just jump into it. First things first, keys. Keys are pretty self-explanatory. They help me get into whatever it is I need to get into. I do keep my vehicle keys separate from all my other keys. Number one, it's better on the ignition coil, not having all this weight dangling off the ignition coil. So it's just a simple single key with the key fob. And so this allows me to also, if Caroline needs to borrow my vehicle, I can give her the keys while I still have the house keys. If I'm bringing it in for an oil change, sometimes in the dead of winter, I need an oil change and I can't change the oil in my driveway because it's negative 20 degrees out, so I have to bring it somewhere to have it done. I can hand them these keys without handing them all of my other keys. Again, a mechanic, if somebody wants to move my vehicle, I can give them these keys and they're not getting my whole house keys and everything along with them. So I always keep these separate. On my keychain, I carry a Uncle Buck's tweezers. These help with splinters and slivers and pulling things out of small areas. I carry a Victorinox fingernail clippers, so if I break a fingernail, I can cut it instead of ripping it off and then it bleeds and whatever. I can cut off what needs to be cut off and I can get back to whatever it is I'm doing, and then I can deal with it when I get home. I do carry a key bar. I 3D printed this key bar. The zip tie actually runs through the middle. It's hollow in the middle and the zip tie runs through it. And the reason I like this one is because you can have it as thick as you want. The longer the zip tie, the fatter this can be, meaning you can carry a lot of different keys inside of here. And if you only carry a few keys, you just use a smaller zip tie, or you just cut the excess off of the larger one. And you can 3D print spacers, so you can space everything out so everything moves nicely. And so, yeah, I'm a fan. The other thing is I like this clip. This clip allows me to put it on my belt or my pants. So if I'm not wearing a belt, I can still slip it onto my pants or a pocket, and I can quickly get whatever it is I need to get. I know a lot of people use a carabiner. I find carabiners big and bulky and they stick out. This is flat, keeps everything nice and smooth. So I prefer that. Again, they're just keys, but I like to have what I need when I need it. Moving on, the Leatherman Wave. This thing has been in my pocket for years and years and years, probably around 6 or 7 years by now. These are the original Leatherman Waves. They do not have the removable blades in the wire cutter. I prefer that. I don't want to worry about losing that screw. I don't want to worry about losing half of my wire cutter. I like that they're built in because, again, I'm not using the wire cutter all of the time. It's not my main primary tool. And so the few times I've used it, it's worked great. And if I need it, it's there and I don't have to worry about it being lost. I also like the deep pocket clip, so it hides inside my pocket. Nobody can see what it is. The reason I carry the Leatherman Wave is because I know what I have on me, right? A lot of people like to buy EDC knives and EDC gear and they swap it out. I'm not a fan of that. I don't want to need a pliers and then be like, oh crap, I have my bench made today. I don't have my pliers. I don't want to have a screwdriver, right? And then all of a sudden, oh, I brought my Spyderco today. I can't use the screwdriver. You know what I mean? I like knowing what I have. The only thing is, I don't have a wine opener. I don't have the corkscrew with this multi-tool, which I am fine with. I don't need the corkscrew. But I know what I have. If If somebody needs the corkscrew, I can kindly say, sorry, I can't help you. But if they need a pliers, if they need a wire cutters, if they need a knife, if they need a saw to cut through something, if they need a scissors, if they need a little pry tool, if they need the micro screwdriver to fix their eyeglasses, I got them covered, right? I know what I have when I need it, and I always have what I need when I need it. So I always carry the Leatherman. I don't go through different knives. I don't go through different multi-tools. I always have the exact same one. In that same pocket, I have a lighter. I almost never use this thing. I don't smoke. I don't hang out with people that smoke. The only thing that this thing lights is candles and barbecue grills. That's it. And so I have the Zippo torch insert. The only reason I have the torch insert is because the standard insert that comes in a Zippo, the fuel evaporates. And so if you don't use it constantly, the fuel evaporates. And when I had the standard insert in there, every time I needed to light a barbecue grill or a candle at somebody else's house, it wouldn't work. The fuel would be gone. And so the butane torch insert, the fuel doesn't evaporate, meaning when I need it, it works every time. So it's the only reason I have the torch insert in there. I actually prefer the flame because the flame can be used to light up an area. The torch is just a torch. The torch is nice because you can kind of aim the flame exactly where you need it, but a standard flame illuminates. So I don't know. Sometimes a Bic would be better, but it's what I've always carried, and it's what I'm always going to carry, and it's done me just fine. So not a big deal. The other thing is my phone. This is a Samsung Galaxy phone. I don't know which one it is. This stays in my pocket. If I leave the house, this comes with me, but it stays in my pocket. I don't do anything with this. I just have it in case of an emergencies. I treat my phone as a phone, right? Calling, texting, that's it. When I'm sitting at home, I will watch YouTube videos on it. I'll quick Google something while I'm here at home. If I'm at a friend's house or family member's house, I might quick Google something. But I use it as a phone. It's called a phone. I use it as a phone. Calling and texting is really the only thing I use this for. If I need a computer, I go use my computer. And so it's just a phone. All right, moving on to this pocket. I have a flashlight. I always carry a flashlight. I use this flashlight a lot. Sometimes it'll be daytime, right? And somebody will lose an earring or something, and I'll turn the light on and it just helps us find it. Sometimes just the light glistening off the earring or glistening off whatever it is was dropped, whether it could even be like a washer or a nut or a bolt or something. Just the shine that this gives it helps us find things better. Sometimes we'll be walking and I'll light up a curb or a step to make sure that people don't trip and fall. Sometimes I will use it to find my keys. Sometimes I'll use it to find the keyhole. Sometimes I use it all the time. And yes, I know that there is a flashlight on my phone, but I would rather the battery die on my flashlight than the battery die on my phone, because my flashlight can light things up. My phone can call 911, it can order pizza, it can call friends and family members to come pick me up. Friends and family members can call me and ask me to come pick them up. And so I feel like it's a much more versatile tool. I can use it as GPS if I'm lost. It's a much more versatile tool, so I don't want to use the battery on my phone. I'd much rather kill the battery in this. And the reason I switched back to the through night, I was carrying those really you can get like 10 for $25, those cheap lights. They work really well, and I like them a lot. And the only reason I switched back to the through night is because the tip of the pocket clip on those cheaper ones sticks way out. And I was at my son's dentist and I felt it scratch their chair, and I looked and their chair's all beat up, and I don't know if I scratched it or if the scratches just already exist, but I don't want to scratch my furniture. I don't want to scratch friends and family. I don't want to scratch other people's furniture. And so I switched to this one because it has a flatter clip. I did bend the tip of that clip on the cheaper one, but then it was harder to get in and out of the pocket. And so then I started finagling with it, and I don't want to finagle with it. And so you could bend it and get it to work exactly how you wanted it to work, but I just grabbed the through knife because it works exactly how I want it to work, and I don't have to deal with it. So that's the only reason I switched back to that. The next thing I carry is a pen. This is a Fisher Space Pen. I really like this pen a lot because it's so small. When it's together, it's very small. It doesn't take up a lot of space. I hardly know I have it, but when I need it, it's nice being able to pull out my own pen. When you're at the DMV and you got to sign the paperwork, when you're at the hospital and you got to fill out the forms, when you're at the dentist for your kids and you got to fill out the forms, when you're at the dentist for yourself, I guess, same forms. A lot of times when I'm at the mechanic will be like, oh, you need these 5 things done to your vehicle. And I'm like, no. I just need you to do the one thing that I can't do myself. Like, you just do the one thing, and then they make me sign the receipt saying that I'm taking responsibility for the vehicle, even though I didn't do the 5 other things that I'm going to do in my own driveway for way cheaper. And so having my own pen, it's nice because they never seem to have a pen. And even if they do have a pen, it never works. And so this pen always works. I always have it when I need it. The other thing is I can take notes with it, right? And so in my wallet, I have a piece of paper. I have a Write in the Rain piece of paper in there, which you'll see in a little bit. And I can take a note. And so instead of having it on my phone, which I'll forget about, I can write the note, and then I'll remember that I wrote a note. I won't remember what's on the note. I'll just remember that earlier today, I think I wrote something down. Then I'll check my wallet. Sure enough, there it is. So taking notes, filling out forms, doing all that, it's just nice to have your own pen. Last thing is my new wallet. I really like this wallet. You can see when I pulled it out, my hand covers the whole thing. That's important. I like being able to pull my wallet out. My hand covers the whole thing. If somebody tries to grab this from me, they're going to grab my hand at the same time, right? And so it's hard to get this out of my hand. Here's the other thing. It folds. It's open, right? It's a bifold, right? If somebody wants my debit card to pay for something, there it is. Debit card, paid, put it back. You see, I can barely see what's in here, which means the people around me can barely see what's in there, if they can see what's in there at all. You need my ID, here's my ID. And I can put it back. And my hand covers the whole thing. Everything's great. I really like this wallet. But you can do this with any wallet. So let me come in close here. Show you this wallet. It's an RFID blocking wallet. It's made out of leather, I believe. And these aren't the cards I carry. These are just gift cards that are used up. But I wanted to show you this. So one of the tips that I want to share with you is so we're going to call this tip up, and we're going to call this tip down. Okay, so it opens. I always carry tip up because if I pinch right here, you can see nothing. If I pinch here on the fold, you can see inside my wallet, right? Here's the other thing. A lot of guys, they carry it in their back pocket and then they flip it open like this, like they're the FBI. They're like, whoa. And then they look through their wallet. Look at all this real estate that somebody can grab and pull out of your hand. And even though you feel like you don't care about your wallet, you wouldn't let somebody steal your wallet, subconsciously, you care about everything that's in here. Like you care about this stuff. You don't, even if you don't care about the debit card and the license and stuff, subconsciously you know that if that debit card snaps in half, you got to go to the bank and you got to get a new one. And how are you going to pay for things without the debit card? You got to wait for it to come in the mail. It's going to be a pain in the butt. If your ID shatters into 1,000 pieces, you got to go to the DMV and you got to get a new one, and then you have the paper copy, and then you don't have the hard copy because it broke. You got to try to deal with that. It's a pain, right? The person taking the wallet doesn't care about any of that. They'll shatter your ID, they'll crack your debit card in half, because they don't care about those. They care about the cash and the gift cards. You're going to cancel the credit cards right off the bat. You're going to call your bank, have them cancel the credit cards. Debit card, credit card, same thing. And if they do use them, they're going to use the camera footage from the store that they used it at to catch them, right? They're going to be like, oh, you didn't make that purchase, and a purchase was made. Let's use that security footage to catch the bad guy, right? They're not going to use your cards. They just want the cash and the gift cards, because those can't be canceled, they can't be traced, they can't be anything. And so that's what they're after. And so I don't flip this thing open like your FBI. The other thing is this window right here. You can see in that window, right? Most people carry their ID in there. Most places don't let you just show your wallet anymore. Most places ask you to take your ID out, right? And so if you flip your wallet open, look at this camera right here is picking it up perfectly. I know people say like, oh, it'll glare, which if I hold it just right, it will glare. But if I just hold it, there's all the information, right? And I can use my phone to snap a picture, and now I have your name, address, height, weight, right? Eye color, all your information's right here. So me personally, I carry my ID up here, right? That's how I'm able to pull it out and put it back, because I have it on top here. And so I can pull it out and do what I need to do without opening this. Same thing with my debit card. My debit card is on top here. And so if I need that, I can pull it out, hand it to you, put it back. And again, my hand's covering the whole thing. Nobody can see what's inside here. It's very quick, easy, and you don't need this wallet to do it. You can do it with any bifold wallet. You just pinch and it kind of opens. So what's in here? Nothing, but I'm pretending is my ID. I keep my ID on the top here so that when I grab it, I can grab my debit card, which is what I use the most, and then I can twirl it, and that's my ID. Inside here, I keep a credit card. I know you're not supposed to have credit cards and you're supposed to be out of debt, and I am not, but I'm trying. I'm working on it. We're working on getting out of debt, but I still have a credit card. Sometimes you just need it. Up here is my debit card, which I told you already. Right here is my insurance, my health insurance. Inside here, there's two flaps. And so this flap is my cash, which we're going to talk about the cash in a second. And it has a hole in the bottom. And then there's another flap with no hole, and you're supposed to be able to put your change in there. I don't put change in there. I have a piece of Right in the Rain paper, which I put a brand new one in just for this video so you can see all my notes. It's going to stay in there too. But, oh, last thing. Behind everything here is a secret compartment. I have a Fresnel lens. The reason for the Fresnel lens is because I am the only person in my entire family, including Caroline and my son. I'm the only person that does not wear prescription glasses. That being said, the older I get, the harder it is to read some things. And so I do have reading glasses, which I never needed before, but I do have reading glasses that I don't need all the time, but I need sometimes. And so the Fresnel lens allows me to, most of the time I don't need it, but when I do need it, I need that magnification. It's here, so I can read what I need to read. And that is what I carry in my wallet. That's how I use my wallet. All right, so we're going to talk about the cash. Now, I carry a very specific amount of cash. I treat a quarter tank of gas like E. I don't ever want to get to a quarter. I always want to have more than a quarter tank of gas. And so the cash that I carry is 5 $1 bills, 2 $5 bills, a $10 bill, and a $20 bill, which gives me a grand total of $45. So as long as I am above a quarter tank of gas, I can spend $45 to fill my tank. Okay? So I can spend all of this to fill my tank of gas. And so even if the power goes out, if the gas station's only accepting cash, I can get a full tank of gas and I can go wherever I need to go. Also, I can, with this combination, I can make exact change anywhere between $1 and $45, right? So I can do up to $4, $5 to $9 to $10 to $14 to $15 to $20 to $24 to $25, $29, $30, you know, $34, $35, $39, $40, $45, right? I can make any combination of exact change minus the cents, right? I'm going to have to round to the nearest dollar, but I can make exact change, meaning, again, if there's a place that is only accepting cash, right? I can get a full tank of gas. I can get whatever it is I need is probably going to be less than $45. If I need if my blood sugar's crashing, I can go and I can get a candy bar with exact cash. If I need a meal, I can go and I can get a meal with exact cash from McDonald's or Burger King or Arby's or Wendy's or wherever. I can get exactly what I need and I can spend exact cash. So if they're not handing out change, I don't mind, right? If I go to a garage sale, I can go and I can hand out exact cash. And again, at a garage sale, most of the things that I'm going to want or need are probably going to be under $45. So it's a very specific amount of cash, but it's what works best for me. All right, and so then the last thing that I actually forgot to talk about, but I'm going to cut into here, is my belt. And so my belt is Velcro. It is actually a duty belt. And so it is Velcro, and then it has the soft Velcro along the whole outside. It is a very rigid belt. And the reason that I like this one so much is, number one, it's rigid. And so I can carry heavier objects on here if I want, and no issues, right? The other thing is there's no buckle. And so because there is no buckle, there's nothing digging into my gut, especially when I'm driving, especially when I'm sitting for long periods of time. This is a very comfortable belt to wear, and it's a duty belt. So if I want to put the outer belt on top of it, I can do that as well. I usually don't do that. I've actually never done that, but I can if I need to, right? I just like that it's rigid and it holds what I need it to hold. I like that it's comfortable. I like that it doesn't have a buckle. So even not having a buckle means I can put things in the front here. I can clip things to the front here without the buckle being in the way. And so the belt that EDC that I use, I don't always wear a belt, but when I do wear a belt, this is the one that I use. And so that's that. I like having the same thing every single day. I like knowing exactly what I have. It doesn't matter if it's 6 months from now. I'm probably going to have the same cash, the same Leatherman, the same keys, the same wallet, the same everything. And so anything I can accomplish today, I can accomplish 6 months from now. Anything that I could have accomplished a year or two ago, I can accomplish today or a year or two from now, right? I like the consistency. I like having what I have. I feel like I have a really good system that makes me comfortable, that makes me able to accomplish things that come up in my everyday life. And it's tested, right? I've been carrying the same thing for 6 or 7 years, and there hasn't been a time where I was like, man, I wish I would have had this instead of that, right? I've been able to take care of everything I've needed to take care of. And so unless I get thrown some sort of curveball, I know what this is capable of. I know what I can handle. I know what I can do with it. And I really enjoy carrying what I carry. So with that being said, in the comment section down below, I want to know if I'm missing anything. I know some people carry medical. I've been thinking about putting Band-Aids in my wallet. I used to carry Band-Aids in my wallet, but then I got slimmer wallets that the Band-Aids didn't fit in. Now I have a bigger wallet again that does fit Band-Aids, but the Band-Aids do add bulk. They usually, I know you can stack them on top of each other to make them thinner, but then they slide down over time and then they all add bulk to one side of your wallet. And so I'm probably not going to add Band-Aids, but I know there are people that carry medical. I know there are people that carry packs on their chest. I know there are people that carry backpacks that are full of gear. I don't carry any of that stuff. I try to blend into my surroundings. I go with the zebra method of camouflage. If you want to hear more about my mindset of the zebra camouflage, leave it in the comment section down below, because I probably will make a video on it. And yeah, so make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you like this video if you enjoyed it, and I cannot wait to see you on the next one.